What's up, everybody? New year, same sponsors. We're talking about Elite Sports, the only apparel company that's got our merch squaring around. We're talking about ELETE sports.com. They got everything from squaring around. They also sponsor their own athletes. So if you're trying to get some custom merch for your family, you're looking for a good gift, shop EliteSports.com. Use code SQUARE at checkout to get a nice discount. Tell them the Square Boy sent you. What's up, man? Should you stop our collection too if you're trying to get like a squaring around hoodie, jacket, sweater, hat. We got all that. EliteSports.com. Use code SQUARE. One of the best things you can have is home field advantage. We have that same thing. Use code SQUARE at checkout, homefield.com. You can shop everywhere. Not really Texas State, but I guarantee you if you buy something and you bother them enough, like I've been doing in the off season, eventually, one day, like a phoenix, we shall rise. Homefield.com, use code SQUARE at checkout.
Tired of winning the tailgate but losing the games? We can't help that. But we can tell you what the hell is up with each team and what's going on across sunny San Marcos. Texas State fans, get on your feet. You're listening to Squaring Around with Jacob Rodriguez and Andrew Zimmel.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Squaring Around. This is the show where we talk about everything happening on Texas State's lovely campus and beyond. In fact, I'm Jacob Rodriguez. This is Andrew Zimmel, the Texas State Sports Prez. Originally, we were going to have Ish on from Dave Campbell's Texas Football, but womp womp, he called in sick. So the allergy bug is getting the best of everybody. Andrew, I have to ask before we start, have you paid the tax man? Have you done your...
I did. I got my taxes done really early. You know, me and the Doge committee were like this, so I was talking to them the entire time through the process. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm sad that the income tax, you get back how much you give, and they held on to a lot of my money this year. My tax return was like $1,200. I was like, you guys stole $1,200 from me throughout the year. That's a problem.
I can't believe you only paid $1,200. Actually, because shout out Dave Campbell's for not paying me on time this year. It moved into the next year, so I don't have to pay any taxes as a freelancer. This
I
year.
didn't. I got money back, tax return.
Yeah, I got $111.
Wow. Okay.
I know, which is
That's less than I thought.
because the first year of the pod, I think I paid like 500.
Jeez.
Yeah, scared
How'd
money.
that happen?
Scared money don't make money, bro. Dude, we made money the year one.
All right.
And they paid us, and they paid us on time. Big thing here is Dave Campbell's actually paid us on time that year.
I guess. I don't know. Things are weird and happening. I like your shirt, Slam Marcus.
Thanks. Yeah, they beat Houston Christian as we record this episode on Wednesday, April 16th. There's a lot of things I want to talk to you about. We could do a whole episode on the hate comments that we got on Maroon and Golden's website.
More?
Yeah, it was a whole thread, basically, from
Wow.
this episode with Don.
Why are we getting hate comments with Don? Like, that was fine. What was wrong with that episode? There's a lot of things they can tell us that we were wrong about.
The real meat and potatoes I think that I want to talk to you about is the spring game, because we were both there.
Yeah.
And I don't know. For me, at least, I think it was a bowl of mid, bro.
Okay. And this is interesting because I was thinking about this last night because I knew you were going to come with this, like, energy. I'm on the other side of things. I think that it's kind of like it's almost like a family reunion. Like, you don't want to go to your family reunion. You don't want to eat on, so-and-so's like coleslaw. But I'll tell you, it's good to see the family. It was good to see all the coaches. It was good to see the recruits they brought out there. We got the tour. I think that it's not bad.
Here is the thing, though. If you're going to have a spring game, I want to be able to write about it, take something away, have something else that isn't just because I'm one of the best reporters at Texas State and we get an exclusive tour with Don Coryell, right? I want to know what the hell the team's up to. And we took away basically nothing from the team side. We got a lot of things, to your point about the family reunion, you go to those things for the people. So we got to see all of our people. That's great. But if we're going to do what we did on this past Saturday, we should just be doing what UTSA is doing right now, having open spring practices and then just calling it what it is because that was not a game.
I would say that yeah, the open practices you can do both. I don't think there's a problem with that. I don't. We talked a lot about afterwards, you and I, about the answers we got in the press conference, and we'll get to that here in a second. But I did think the big major takeaway that we wanted was who is going to start at quarterback. And again, transfer portal aside, we kind of know. Like, I mean, it's probably Brad Jackson. They didn't show us the entire playbook, obviously, but they did show us a little bit.
They
And
actually only showed us like 4 plays the entire time.
well, yeah, they ran a lot of option plays, which you don't want to like look at and go like, okay, this is like an indicator of what the offense is going to look like. But when you play like I guess 75% of the offense was option and run plays or swing passes, it's like, okay, well that's if that's what they're practicing right now, that's probably what they're going to pull out in week 1.
A lot of bodies missing, a lot of portal additions that I'm expecting, honestly, quite frankly, especially with people leaving as well. Trenton Scott just left. You mentioned our guy Nathan Huerta just left. Some
Our
moving and
guy,
shaking.
our
Our
guy
guy,
Nathan, our guy
huge,
Nathan.
huge headline. The long snapper left. Do you guys even remember how many times we punted last year?
I came this close to tweeting some very mean things about our guy Huerta. I just was like,
Did you
what
really?
is it? We got a whole, well, it's just like we need a whole graphic for this, you know? Like,
Who's
I
making
don't,
these? Who's making these graphics?
I got to
'Cause I
imagine
think
that,
if you're a Texas State player and you're in the portal, cut off from the graphic department.
wow.
If
Yeah,
you're
I
if
imagine.
you're I'm leaving Texas State thing is more than 250 characters, you're on your own, buddy.
God bless. That's it. Look, and the long snapper aside, there are going to be more portal additions, I imagine, than subtractions. And I continue to bang on the drum. Hey, Nico's out there. There's a 5-star quarterback just in the transfer portal. Somebody pick up the phone. Let's go. Because if he's going to play for free next year because he messed up his money, hey, play for free for us. Come to Texas State.
That's
Do
crazy.
a rehab.
What an insane crash out.
And this is again where if you're gonna have an agent, have an agent. If you're gonna have your parents do it, have your parents do it, but don't have your parents think you're your agent, because allegedly the story is 2.5 million. Carson Beck's getting 4 at Miami allegedly, which again it doesn't sound like he actually is, but he's getting 4 million at Miami. Well, I think I'm better than that guy. I want 4 million from Tennessee or somewhere else. No, just relax. Just relax. You sign a contract, come. But now, if you're gonna play for free or for free for a scholarship, Texas State, Sonny Sam Marvelous. Do a year here, rehab your image, win the Sun Belt Player of the Year, and then go back to the SEC or go back to the Big 12. Who says no? I don't. I'm all in. I will give him the red carpet treatment. We'll roll out the carpet. We'll bring him in. Big Dad, get your checkbook ready, buddy, because we gotta catch this fish. We gotta get this guy.
How likely do you think that would even happen? Do you think he would even end up in the Sun Belt at all?
I don't think it's likely, but if you don't call, you're not going to get the date to the prom. You got to call. You got to find out.
If I'm GJ, I'm like, can I make one portal edition without like creating the most ginormous headline ever?
But imagine this. Imagine if you do make that call and it's like bottom of the barrel. You know that he's not going to get a check from anywhere else. Tulane said no to him. Tulane has Grand Theft Auto playing and they don't want him. So like,
Allegedly.
bring Nico here,
Yeah, I don't know. Was Tennessee even good last year? I was too busy watching CUSA.
I'm just saying that this is huge. And then on top of that, you're getting those waves. And obviously, the Pac-12 does not care about actual sports. They just care about media headlines. This would be a media headline. Bring them in. And I would love for that to happen because Dave Campbell's is already in print right now. So imagine you go get the number 1 talked about quarterback to come to Texas State. Reprint it. Cut the machines. We got to get a new graphic going because that's what would happen. The spring game, I would say this, that Jacob, I understand that you're not thrilled with the spring game. I thought that
It's just a load of horse. It's like a public relations firm basically, and it's like if you're gonna actually show something, show something. If not, let's just fill UFCU Stadium with a bunch of bouncy houses, bring the kids in, sign autographs, talk to the media, and that's it.
Now, did you see that they did do autograph signings afterwards?
Yeah, they did, but they always do. That's not surprising.
Now, so this is where, and I thought about this when we were eating our hot dogs. Shout out bird dogs. Um, I thought about this. What we should have done is just get in that autograph line and start just riddling questions. That's what we should have done because we didn't get any questions. We didn't
Wow,
get any.
dude. They were so buttoned down in the press deal. They said if you conduct any interviews outside of the Warren room, you will be escorted out. That's what they told us in the
Really?
interview. Yeah, if you check your
When did
email,
that happen? I didn't get that. I didn't get that quote at all.
squaringaroundpod
Oh,
at gmail.com.
that was in the email that we got.
Yeah.
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 Look,
You were out of all that drama, actually.
I was out of that. I just showed up.
So for me, it was actually an incredible annoyance because like I do the back end stuff for us, so I'm requesting credentials and things like that.
We appreciate
And
that.
when they're so like Texas State is so touch and go on access in the first place, and then their product is like not great or like produced up or like, I'm like, what am I supposed to take away from this? Nothing? I don't know. I
Well,
shot highlights. Guess who didn't want them? Austin or San Antonio. So
not great. That kind of hurts our little hearts.
hurts our hearts, but
Especially
guess what? I'm a producer and I wouldn't have picked them either because there was
really.
nothing that I was seeing on camera.
Yeah. I guess it's good B-roll for when something does happen.
They don't even have jersey numbers. How can I tell these guys apart?
Yeah, that's true. And look, so I have an idea who the quarterback will be is Brad Jackson, so that's a big win. And then GJ kind of gave us a nothing burger answer when it comes to like, are we going to do this again next year? Which I would have liked a little bit more of a firm yes or no. What do you think of Bo Sparks? Because that's your guy.
I would have, before I talk about Bo, I would much
Yeah.
prefer we just take what UTSA is doing and do it in San Marcos. Just open practices, media
Wow.
availability after, end of story.
Whole media availability or just for select players?
Whatever. I don't know. I mean, do you think we would actually even get players? We don't get players right now.
Yeah.
Super
All
frustrating
right.
to cover this.
I will say something else too, and we're just going to expose everything here. We talked to
I'm gonna cut
anything
this
from.
part of the pod.
Well, I'm putting it on tape so that if you want to keep it, you can.
We can't. There's no way.
I want to ask
Just
the
save your
question:
breath on this one, buddy.
why would you not give us? I just don't understand what the purpose of not giving us access would be when you're a blooming. We'll use positive words. When you're a blooming football organization, when you're an organization that is getting the hype and getting the media kind of behind you for the first time. I told you at length when I was in North Dakota, I couldn't turn on any national college football radio show without them talking about Jeff Traylor. And I was hoping that GJ Kenny would be in that same camp. Like, hey, I can't turn around without seeing it. But if you don't give the media the access, the local media the access, the national media isn't going to be there either. Like, if Colton McWilliams isn't able to put out a tweet about somebody playing and it gets aggregated by the national source, then you're just cutting yourself off. You're preventing yourself from growing. You're putting a cap on that.
By the way, after they were so like sticklery about like access in general, making us do a separate credential request basically, then not even providing credentials for that deal, just saying like, cool, you emailed us, great, see you there. Huge waste of my time.
And
But
was it
like
that many more people?
here's
Like,
what it was. It was Kef and Zach, we'll count that as one entity.
okay,
You and me, also one entity.
Colton,
Guy from Fox 7, Joe, Colton,
KTSW.
KTSW.
Was the star even there?
Yeah.
Could have fooled me.
Star Guy, and the teacher. So, I mean,
But let me ask you that as a producer for a TV station, if
yeah.
you are going to try to go to a spring game and it is like a second type of, authentication, if it's a second type of media credential, would that turn you off and be like, I'm not even going to apply? Like it's one more hoop to jump through. I don't have time for this.
Basically, yeah. I mean,
No, but seriously, like I'm
I
genuinely
just
asking.
told you, yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
Okay. Damn. I guess, yeah. If
I
you
mean,
make it
it's
just a little
dumb
hard.
because I have like a real credential. I have a real job. You could Google me. Like, I'm not hard to find. But you know what I'm saying? It's just dumb because it's like number one, I've covered this team for years now. This is our third year of doing this podcast, but what, like ninth or whatever, something of covering Texas State in general. I don't know. I just made that stat up. Hashtag stats. But
Hashtag decade.
hashtag decade. But to me, it's just stupid because it's like we're not going to do anything that's going to hurt this team. It actually benefits us when this team does well, when all of them do well, frankly. So it's like, what am I going to do? Sell tape? I can't do that.
And who wants it?
And who
Like,
wants it?
is
No,
Southern Miss calling us? Like,
no,
is Troy calling us? I don't know.
no. I don't even do cinematic recaps or anything for the most part.
I mean, I don't know. And I will say that the media vibes all around, I don't want to say that they were the worst ever, but they were as bad as I remember with Withers. And there were some times where we grumbled and stumbled into those Withers press conferences. I walked into that spring game, and I don't know if it was because we were doing our thing or like Kef was doing it. Everybody just kind of felt like on edge a little bit. You know,
Vibe
it
was
just
bad.
didn't,
Yeah, yeah.
vibes weren't great. I don't know.
Vibe was bad.
And maybe
Vibe
that's us,
sucked.
but like,
Maybe it's because they had it at like noon on a Saturday, and I was like, "This is an incredible waste of my time. What am I doing here?"
yeah.
Because, well, also like I had to text Craven like mid game. Hey, by the way, not getting anything out of this. Even if they gave me the best answer ever as to why they would do a spring game again, not gonna do that. Also, lame answer for that question. So I
Yeah.
texted Craven mid game. Hey, we ain't getting nothing out of this, homie.
So I'm trying to be positive. Bo Sparks, impressed, liked him, didn't like him.
And he did what he was supposed to do. He answered questions. Like it was like what I was telling you. You were like, "Oh, that was a good press conference." And I was like, "These guys are like when you have a press conference in 2K, it's like, yeah, I'm trying to be the best player ever. It's super good vibes ahead of the season. We know nothing about this team basically."
But I thought their answers were better than Jordan's. Jordan was super polished. These guys at least gave me a little of authenticity, being authentic, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. I expect them to sound like college because that's what they are. I don't I'm
But
not
yeah, no, they
looking I'm
sounded
not looking for
authentic.
a
Jordan didn't.
statesman or I'm not looking for, you know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like Jordan sounded like a statesman. These guys sounded like college guys, and I like that more.
Eh.
Okay, so you're giving an F minus. You're like, I'm
Yeah.
all
No, it
okay.
sucked. I was like, what the hell am I doing here? I have so many
Okay,
other things I could be doing on a Saturday.
okay.
Yeah, it was nice
That's
because we did get to speak to everybody, like ever. We got to talk to both basketball coaches. Nobody else wanted to talk about basketball. I went right to my guy, Coach Johnson. Hashtag beat
hey.
reporter for
How,
basketball.
how are you gonna fix this?
How you gonna fix
Vibes are,
this? He
vibes are
was
down.
mid talking to a recruit that he brought on campus, which you told me both basketball teams do this for every reason or for whatever reason. They bring
I, it's
recruits to the
supposed
spring
to
game.
like, yeah, you're supposed to give them a taste of like the San Marcos community, and like if you have a good spring game, there's people in the stands. You go like, hey, you know, it's a nice stadium.
But
This
when
is
there's like
where
100 guys in the stadium in general, not a huge crowd.
now
Not a huge
Now that
crowd.
was my other problem, and I don't know why we put them in those. We put them on the home side of things, which is whatever. But like the other side has more shade. I don't know why we aren't opening up the concession stands a little bit more on that end of the side of things, the visitor side of things. I don't know. It just felt like there wasn't a lot of media attention to it. A, because they didn't give us a lot, and B, I don't think they marketed it very well. I also learned I think that we have a new marketing person for football, which kind of threw me for a loop. They said this was the first time that he was like in charge of the spring game, which, you know, shout out, good luck. But like last year's was way better. You know what I
They
mean? Like,
should probably tweet about it. I don't know, more than 5 times leading up to it, it would be my thing.
yeah, and it's weird
They
time in San
also
Marcos.
never put like a kickoff time for it. I mean, like kickoff time is very
Yeah.
generous with that, but you know what I'm saying?
Well, it's weird too because it's a weird time in San Marcos. Because like, if I'm a college student, noon on a Saturday, I'm probably at the river. I'm probably doing something outdoorsy because it was a
And we
nice
passed
day.
by Sewell Park on our visit through San Marcos. At Sewell, way more people than at the spring game, easily.
Yeah, which is a throwback to like the pre-GJ times, which you don't want to regress if you're this
Well,
program.
no,
You,
I don't. Honestly, if you're a student, do you want to go to the spring game? Like, what are you
if
doing?
there's things to do, yeah. Like if there's like, I would say if there's
I'm
four
not
players
lining up
there,
as a college student to get an autograph from Bo Sparks. Love you, Bo, but that's what the hell am I doing? You know?
Heisman Trophy winner in college football
Oh
26.
yeah, Heisman Trophy winner in NCAA College Football 2025.
Okay,
No.
all right. I'm just Look,
No, there's way better things to do in San Marcos. So if you're gonna do this like half-ass production, like you're saying, like that's what you're gonna get. Like nobody wants to show up for this.
well, and the other
They've
part is
all
I was
now, if you're a freshman at Texas State 2 years ago, you've seen this team be successful year one, year two. And a lot of people give us guff online because they're like, oh, these guys don't know what they're talking about. What about the old days? Well, guess what, Grandpa? The old days don't matter anymore. And if we don't adapt to this like new age college football stuff with new age fangled reporters, we're gonna get lost in the sauce, brother.
yeah, and then you're right. If you are a freshman, or you'd be a junior this year. A
Yeah.
person going into their junior year,
Mhm.
you've seen two bowl games.
So
Like,
now
and you're
you're
like, okay.
expecting like, okay, this is just gonna the standard is the standard, hashtag Sarkeesian.
And well, and I'll say this too. This is where the quotes actually matter because I thought that linebacker saying, "Hey, we're trying to win conference championships." I like that.
When you got that call that they said, "Hey, you have another year of eligibility," what was the first feeling that went through your head?
First feeling that went through my head was I now have another chance to to try to get a conference championship because that's always been the goal coming here, especially with Kenny. You know, his background is we're here for a conference championship, and I know that we can do it. It fell a little short the first 2 years, but having an extra year was the first thought in my head.
So that's already on the bulletin board, first thing on the whiteboard, conference championship for this team.
Yes, because very, very thankful and like happy that we won the bowl games, but that wasn't our goal. Conference championship, and whatever else after that is great, but the conference is what we want.
You know, he could have easily been like, we
That's
won
what
two
they
bowl
say
games.
every year.
No, I don't think so. Not in year one.
Yeah, they did.
I don't remember them in year one being like, we're winning the conference.
Okay, I'm gonna play the clip right now.
And our mission is being champions. Champions in competition, champions in the classroom, and champions in the community.
All right, play the clip.
They've
That's
said
fine.
it. They've said it from day one that this is what they're gonna do, and they've made good on all those promises. I've wrote about it several times.
No.
In Dave Campbell's. What? I mean,
Good on
they've-
some of the promises.
They've made good on a lot of them. I'd
Yeah.
say. You know, getting back into the national headlines, winning bowl games, no
Good
conference
headlines,
titles
bad
yet.
headlines. Headlines.
Headlines. I forgot about that one transfer guy who's in the portal, but he also was arrested like 2 weeks into being at Texas State. I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
good.
Now, okay, last
Good
year they did
callback,
the
Star.
interviews. Last year they did the interviews in the game. I thought that was a really good idea. I didn't even know if Brant was there.
No,
Did you see Brant? I maybe he was doing baseball, but like I just kind
he
of
probably was a low key.
I kind of was thrown because I liked the in-game interviews that they were doing last year, and I think that would have added something to it.
I think what they were very focused on was the pro day this year, and what lost like that shine was the spring game because everybody was like, "Does this even matter? Are we gonna, we're not gonna show the world what we're gonna do, so who cares?" And
Yeah.
so they had a very polished pro day, which they've already said has paid dividends in creating team relations with Texas State and the NFL teams, and I don't know. Maybe that's what they're focused on.
I mean, okay, well, and if we want to be NFL junior at the group of 5 level, I'm good with that. I mean, like if you want to go get a bunch of undrafted guys and guys that go late in rounds, you can win games like that. I don't have a problem with that. I'd be curious to see what this year looks like because this is year 3. You've had the freshmen on campus. You've had guys redshirt. You should have a culture built. So last year we were talking, okay, hey, conference championship, national championship, playoff implications. You would think coming into this year that you'd have the same type of hype, but I just don't feel that, I guess. I don't know. I thought the spring game was better than you think the spring game was, but I still would probably give it like a C.
If you did not see it, you did not miss much, bro. Like, if you want to watch a bunch of dudes not complete passes, show up. If you wanted to watch a bunch of routes that we're probably not even going to run next year, show up. We didn't even run anything in the goal line because GJ said these guys don't know anything. And he started off the press conference, by the way, saying, hey, give these guys a ton of grace. We still really don't know what we're doing out there. Anytime you start a press conference off like that, number one, don't do that. And number two, I've lost interest. Like, you're telling me everything I shot out there doesn't matter anymore?
Okay. So you're saying worst vibe since...
I don't think it's a... Here's my thing, I guess, because I've been such a about this entire time we've been recording, is like, I guess I wish I just knew what we had gotten. Like, if we had been allowed to go to practice and stuff, and I saw, like, what was going to come, I wouldn't have expected some, like, grand reveal, But since this is the first time the media has ever been allowed to go in near these guys in the springtime, I'm like trying to figure things out. I'm like eliminating and also creating narratives in my head about what's going on the field and off the field. And so that's the most frustrating part is because there's no transparency. I'm like a little lost in the sauce myself right now.
I'll say this. I think that Brad Jackson's tiny. That was my big takeaway. If we had to
But
take
bigger than
one,
Nate Yarnell, which I did not expect to see when I saw them side by side.
he looks so skinny. He looks so small. I don't know. I don't know how you play 12 games in college football without having some meat on your bones. And I was really shocked how small he looked. For as nice as the weight room is and everything, I was kind of surprised.
Yeah. That was the best part about it too. Shout out Don for giving us that behind the scenes tour of the weight room and stuff.
What impressed you the most? Of the end zone complex, it's halfway done. They're supposed to get done here in a couple weeks. What impressed you the most?
Once it does get done, it will really be a difference maker, I believe. And maybe that'll add to the whole vibe shift from next year. Because if you remember last year, construction was even worse at UFCU Stadium. Everybody assured us it would be done before the first game. That didn't happen. But this year, it does look like things actually will be clicking in the same direction towards that like first game deadline. Actually, Don even assured us that it would be done at the end of May. Yet to be determined. I don't know. I'm not a construction guy. Don't listen to me about that. But I think what was super impressive was just like what Don was telling us that they're going to be selling it in a different way, like outdoor suites, having different venues for boosters to hang out, having different areas for all the people that we're trying to attract basically to get us into that next level, into the stratosphere of football and beyond at Texas State.
Yeah, I liked how much it feels like the first time that we're a revenue producing program. It feels like we're looking at things like, hey, this is how we make money. This is how we can bring some money in. Reading between the lines with Don, it seems like they need to kind of bring some money in. It seems like that's one of the major goals. Hey, we're winning on the field. Let's win in the boardroom too. Again, as a Texas State alum, that's what I want to see. I want to see us winning on all sides of things, not only on the gridiron, but also trying to bring some money in for sponsorships and stuff like that.
So if that part of the spring game was like by itself, A plus plus, because we've been given access that a lot of people haven't gotten, a lot of people probably wish they had gotten, you know? But that's just goes back to your whole family reunion thing, you know? Aunt Marcia took us behind the scenes.
Yeah. So we got a breaking news from a source.
Shut up.
Chattanooga Mocs have submitted an $100,000 NIL offer to Nico to be their starting quarterback. They're the first team in the sweepstakes.
Chattanooga, what?
Chattanooga Knox, I want to say.
The hell is that?
I think it's like a Division II school. I don't know.
$1 million?
I think our guy's giving us pulling our leg here a little bit. That would be something.
Who gives a shit? Honestly,
I want him very badly.
I don't care. If you're gonna leave your team that much, like if we're talking about like culture and stuff, you know, remember when Sam Houston State beat us with just culture alone? Do you guys remember that? And then that guy who was preaching about culture left to Temple, like not even at the end of the season, during the season.
Yeah.
What is culture
I'll say
really?
this. I think culture won more games for people last year than quarterbacks did.
Culture won more games for people and also got more people jobs.
Yeah. Owen McCown, how do you feel when we face him in a couple weeks?
Ooh, I don't know. He looks pretty good. I've
Yeah.
seen some tape from spring practice over here because we have these guys on TV every night. And I'm gonna say two things. Number one, I'm jealous because they get so much more access than we're getting right now. And number two, Jeff Traylor went on this whole rant about Yellowstone. Very funny, very insightful. His main takeaway was like football is so easy compared to being on the Oregon Trail.
Wow. So let's get the headline. Let's do some clickbait here. You're
Yeah.
telling me your vibes are higher on UTSA than Texas State right now.
Yeah, because I know what the hell
Forums
that
are
team
going to
is.
hate you, brother.
Who?
The forums are going to hate you.
It's true. I mean, like they're getting more access than me, so I know what that team is. I hear from different position groups. I hear from different coaches. I hear from all these other things. My cameras are out there every day.
I'll say this. If Texas State does not show competitive football against UTSA this year, brother, it's going to be a long 365. It's going to be a long, long year on the internet for
Dude,
Texas State
well,
fans.
Jeff Traylor is definitely on revenge mode after last year. We're going over here to play at the Alamo Dome, and is not gonna be sweet. Let me just keep it that way, because walking around the tailgate with my camera as a lone survivor without Andrew, danger mode. And I work here. People know me.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be real tough. I'm looking forward to seeing what that is, especially considering Owen McCown is on revenge tour too, because he got benched in the Texas State game last year. I think he wants to come in this year and really do some damage.
Yeah. It's gonna be a slugfest. I'm really looking forward to it. Do I know anything about our team and like how
I'm
the
looking.
matchups will look?
Eh,
No.
I'm looking forward to it the way you look forward to like a boxcar derby, because you know it's going to be ugly. You know, some cars going into the
Well,
barn.
actually, this
You
is
know,
this is going to be my first that game. UTSA week 2 is going to be my first time when I'm actually going to be only on Texas State because I really want to go see UTRGV's first game ever.
yeah.
So
By
that'll
the
be
way, they
history.
played
Hashtag
UT pretty
Oregon.
close yesterday. They get a little good
UTRGV?
little ball club. Yeah, good little ball club down there.
Yeah, that was their second time at UT. The first time they beat them, they made history doing it for the first time since like 2008 or something. I forget what the. Oh no, actually, I think they beat them last year, head to head.
I think they did, but they
They were
11-4 lost yesterday.
actually hashtag in our city. They went to San Marcos and were like going down the tube chute, like bodyboarding.
Yeah,
And somebody tagged me in a tweet about it, and I was like, hashtag, what are you doing here?
I do want to. Before we get off football, I got to give our guy Dez some credit here. Dez, who's on Nice Kicks, he's a Texas State alum. He's been tweeting me all year about how Texas State needs to get more money in NIL. This is like a 365 thing for him. He said student bodies should collectively donate student plasma and have the money go directly into an NIL fund. I said that's a big move. He goes, I think it's like $35 for a plasma donation. If the entire student body does it, it's like 1.3 million. I said, imagine giving your blood. Guy comes here, and then we go 6-6. He goes, we need to give eggs, sperm, blood, whatever it takes to go get a 5-star QB. So
Here's the thing, Des. Number one, never change. This take is great. And number two, I don't think what we're trying to do is attract like students into giving money. What we need is the alumni base. You know, that's what
the alumni base.
the alumni
like
base needs to
100,000
get to the
strong.
sperm bank.
Yeah. Take it to the bank, the sperm bank. Like
Exactly.
I just
recent grads, right there.
yeah.
No, but
Yeah,
that's what they're
give
doing
back.
with the stadium upgrades and all these things that they're focused on right now is in attracting both recent and not recent alumni into donating.
Can we get you to sign up? The
Me?
Jacob Rodriguez stiff sock NIL fund.
Absolutely not, dude. I do not want to end up in a Vince Vaughn sperm bank situation donation.
Okay.
Also,
I'm
also, is
putting
that
ideas
against
out
my
there.
religion? Hashtag
I'm
fact.
putting ideas out there. Hey, we're trying to give something back. Kidneys, you got 2 of them.
No, you know how many people I know that donated plasma just to get a meal swipe on campus? Like that money
Jeez.
goes fast when you're a student, you know?
Yeah. So give back. Give
But
blood.
You buy an eighth, you're screwed. That's $30 right there.
Hey, we need all of it just directly pumped right in to the NIL fund. Because, I mean, imagine that. You're going to get more people in the stadium. I'm giving my blood. I'm going to see those games. I need to see what my blood is paying for. True blood money to get Texas State good.
I guess so. I don't know.
A&M is going out and getting Saudi money. We got to compete.
I don't know if getting the blood of our own students is what that is, though. You know, like it $30 per pop. What is 30 times 40,000? That's not even that
like
much money.
1.5 million.
Hmm?
It's like 1.3.
Yeah, that's terrible, actually.
Hey, we can pay for an offensive line.
Yeah, but then you got to do that every year.
Who says no?
What's the graduation rates at Texas?
You win a couple.
Do you remember
bowl
all
games.
those? Do you remember all those weird dudes from freshman year that didn't end up graduating?
Yeah.
Exactly.
We can use their blood.
Maybe you're on to something now.
I gave a kidney, and all I got was a first responders bowl.
Now, let me ask you a question before we get
Yeah.
off football.
Yeah.
We went to the First Responders Bowl for a third year in a row. Where are you vibe-wise with the team now?
3 years in a row.
3 years
We've
in a row,
not,
and we win, though.
let me say this, 3 years in a row, and you and I are going again. We're getting the smallest hotel room with one bed.
One bed. Again, of
That's
course, in
one
keeping with
bed.
tradition.
Yeah.
They've
One
won
bed,
every year that we were one bedded out.
tiny, tiny room. We're talking like 250 square feet. We're talking bed next to the sink, next to the toilet. We're talking prison room. All right. One cot, you and me. That's what we're doing if we go for a third year. Lock in. I'm excited. First Responder Bowl, three-peat.
You
Who
know, a
else
lot
do
of
we need to beat? We
who,
beat Rice, we beat UNT, so that's Houston and Dallas.
dude. Let's run
UTEP.
back or Sam Houston. That'd be great.
Ooh, that would be not. No, I want another major city. So UTSA might be the major city. It might have to be First Responder Bowl, UTSA, Texas State.
That would be kind of sweet, actually.
Yeah, because we
I know
took
there was
out.
talk like, wasn't there a talk like last year that that could happen again, or
Yeah,
we could potentially play Sam again, or
I would love that. That would have been great. All right,
Sam
we
Houston
got like
State was great vibes, by the way.
I got 15 minutes before I got to go.
Oh wow, we've been
Um,
talking for a while.
let's do baseball. What's the vibe? You say vibes are down on football. Baseball vibes back up. How you feeling?
Vibes are weathering the storm, but I still stand that they're like a top half Sun Belt team, which is not even very impressive most days. Um, they beat Houston Christian 9-3 last night as we record this on Wednesday again. People freak out on the internet when we're wrong about things, but we recorded like a week ago basically from when they're listening. It's hell, I guess, if you're listening to this podcast like in chronological order. You're like, what the heck? How did GJ Kinney just get hired? You fucking idiots. God.
All right. Well, Jacob's in a great mood. So when we talked to Colton,
They're 18 and 18 right now.
So 500. Okay.
Yeah, and
So
they're
that would
7 and
make
8 in
sense.
conference play. So basically, the vibe from last week to this week, pretty much the same. I don't care if you beat Baylor or Houston Christian or Houston Baptist now, HBU. What are they?
Houston Christian, Houston
Houston
Christian,
Christian.
HCU.
Okay. They used to
So
be
if you're
HBU.
okay, so the vibe, or when we were talking to Colton, shout out the Cowboy, he was saying that the big pushback he was getting on all these teams were that you're beating A&M, you're beating Texas, but you can't win Sun Belt games. And here's the zag I'm going to have on this. I think that we're going to be a bottom half Sun Belt team throughout the rest of the year. We
What?
get in the tournament. We get into the tournament, and whenever one of those games matters, we're going to start winning. Now, are we going to win the tournament? No.
No.
Are we going to go to a regional? Probably not. But are we going to end up being like the third place team in the Sun Belt when it comes to tournament time? Yes, that's my take right now.
Nah, dude. Here's the thing. Once we go into tournament play, let's say we are the worst team ever, right? What is it? Top
One of.
12, top 12 teams or top 10 teams get in the
Yep.
tournament? And so if we're a 10 seed and we're playing the 1 seed, which is going to be like Coastal, I guess at this point, we're going to lose because we got
I think
spanked.
no. I think we win that game.
We're
I
not.
think I think we win that game.
I think we're going to shit down our leg.
Okay. I'm
We
going.
have not
I think
been
we,
good in conference. We're currently below 1 game below
Yeah.
500 in conference.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But like when we beat teams that matter, like I can't say this is a bad club. I just think that they don't show up for tournament or games on the weekend. They're
They
a
have
midweek
yet
game.
to prove that they can play in conference, honestly.
Yeah, no, I agree. They're just not a weekend team. They're a midweek team, which is great because you're beating A&M and Texas and Baylor. You're not beating any teams on the weekends. We got our minds in other places.
I don't know. I don't. Yeah, currently we're a top half Sun Belt team, like I've been saying all year.
Yeah,
Um,
we're chasing.
I
Tail
don't
and
see us
curveballs.
beating Coastal or Troy when it matters most, when they're playing their Friday starter, their Saturday starter. We're lost.
So all right. Texas State misses the tournament 2 years in a row.
We're not gonna miss it this year, I think.
But I'm saying
Oh.
if they do,
No.
what do we do?
It's panic mode, honestly.
Is it okay?
Especially if we can't keep this pitching staff or very, very close to it, because that's the only thing keeping us in these games. Luckily, I think for the past like 3 or 4
Does
games,
Trout go fishing?
no, I don't think Trout takes a bath on this team.
Okay.
But like for the past like 3 or 4 games, we've actually been able to score more than 5 runs, which is huge for this team. Last night they beat Houston Christian 9-3. Very good because most teams only need like 4 or 5 runs to beat us in the first place.
But you shouldn't be like that. Like if you're,
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying is
but
wrong.
yeah, like if you're losing games 7-5, like that's a problem. That's a pitching problem, not so much a hitting problem. If you're losing games 2-1, that's a hitting problem.
That's what I'm saying, Andrew. Like, if we can't
Oh,
keep this pitching staff,
yeah,
and
yeah,
hitting stays what it is, we're gonna be.
I agree.
Are you
I
hearing?
current,
Are you picking up what I'm putting down?
I am picking up. I still stay that if we go to the tournament, I think we surprise the team because I don't think we're a bad club. I just think that we just can't win games on the weekends.
Here's the thing: we're not a bad club, but we're not a good Sun Belt club, and that's what fucking matters. And when we're gonna play the best in the Sun Belt, they're playing the best all the time.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
And I've said too, like when we beat A&M, like, and then we beat Texas, it's like, great, this team is doing exactly what last year's team did. And last year's team did nothing, you know?
Jack, yeah.
And that
So
2001 team that also beat Texas and A&M on the road also did nothing in the Southland Conference then.
so while we have a little bit of time left, I want you to address the haters because this forum thing, I didn't even know about it. I stayed off the internet. I didn't see this.
Oh, somebody alerted me that the forum was running amok after our Don Coryell interview.
Yeah,
That's
but
it.
poor K. But I don't understand because I thought we did everything we were supposed to do. We asked every question we were supposed to ask.
I think it's just personal beef at this point because there is one guy you guys will remember from episodes of Yore that I did pretty much tell to go f himself. So that's fair. If you are that one guy on the forum, my apologies. I did apologize though, and I apologize now. That was hashtag not me back then. You know, now I'm Zen Jacob. So I invite
Yeah,
you, if I pissed you off in the past, come on back to the pod. But also, I think some people think that like it's our job to be like ESPN with this stuff, when really this started off as just you and me having
but
fun.
what are we supposed to do? Like I
Get
mean, like what else?
everything right every single time. Never be wrong against history, Andrew.
I just don't. Oh, so we get our historical facts wrong? Is that like the problem
I
that
think
we
I don't know if there's any one issue in particular, but also if you
comment
want to do
below?
it, if you want to,
Comment.
yeah, what's your biggest problem with this show? Comment below.
Yeah, comment below. We'll address them next week.
Yeah.
That'll be great for Jacob's mental health. as
Yeah,
the
I
comments
just
fall.
won't care about it, honestly. Here's the thing.
Jacob,
It's
Jacob.
true. I'm Zen Jacob now, bro.
as he yells, "I'm Zed Jacob."
I'm Zen Jacob now, bro. I don't care. It's fine.
Okay,
It's true.
okay.
We're
I'll
good.
take your word for it. I'll take
We're
your word
good.
for it.
We're good. I don't know. I wouldn't even have known if somebody hadn't told me. So like, you know, it's
Yeah.
not like I'm checking the forum. I do not
You
spend.
ever Google your name?
No,
You've never Googled your name.
no. I tell other people to Google me.
I do it
I don't
like
need to Google me. I know it's there.
I do it like once a year, and I do it in the news section because my tweets get aggregated in articles all the time. And I'll find like later, it's like, oh, well, when I was tweeting about Nico, all of a sudden the Tennessee reporter took my tweet and put it in his like USA Today blog, you know?
I did Google recently my name in regards
Oh,
to GJ's Kidney's contract because I wanted to see like what they said, like who broke that story. And of course, like everybody cited Pete Thamel because he said it first, but he didn't have like the breakdown. But at the very bottom, it was like Jacob Rodriguez wrote this for Dave Campbell's. And I was like, yes, I did.
there you go.
It was fun.
Huge wins.
Huge win. I don't know.
All right.
I'm just having fun on this show now, you know? Like, no longer am I like super obsessed about trying to make money. Because at the time when we made this podcast, I really needed some extra scratch. And so that was like the whole impetus for this. And now this has become hashtag not the biggest thing in my
Money?
life anymore,
Like,
you know? I
my
got one
main
of those
goal was
little
money.
statues up here. I'm very good at my actual job. And I'm very happy with like the circumstances surrounding me. And so I'm just kind of having fun. It's kind of fun just to talk to you about sports all the time.
Well, I agree. I'm in the same boat, buddy.
So if that means from time to time people give us flack on the internet, that's fine, buddy. You know?
Which is a good segue.
Because they're
to
never
the
going to
flack
tell
I
us this in real life, bro. Because you know why? Oh.
Here's the flack I have. So, as you may or may not know, Jacob, I was helping our mutual friend Mike Taylor. So, you'll be surprised when I see him talking on TikTok about me.
Really?
So
You want
listen to
this on the show?
I want to put this out here because his producer is next time I see you, it's on site. All right.
What's his name?
Jose something.
Yeah, Igor. Come over here.
Listen to this. Yeah, first off, he got hit with the ugly stick. Want to start it there. You got a face for YouTube stream.
Look at me, Zen Jacob, Angry Zimmel.
Here's the deal.
Difficult way for us to go through it, but this is the third time, so it's kind of our fault. But punch that producer for making it exceedingly difficult.
Now
for
he's starting to
us.
sound like somebody.
Oh, the drops guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
and iHeart. Well, here's the thing.
Well, if you wouldn't have
They
lost
don't.
the first one.
Well, here's the thing, man. And let me defend him first of all. He's not used to running a show like ours.
Right.
I actually reached out to him and asked him, "Hey, man, do you have all of my old show drops?"
He asks a couple months ago, hey, can I get, some of the stuff from the old show? Yeah, sure. Put it on a thumb drive. Drive it downtown to him. No problem. I'm a fan. I like the guy. Give it off. A week later, hey, we lost the thumb drive. Go get another thumb drive. Do the same thing. We're talking, this takes hours to do, to download everything. Drop it off. A couple weeks later, oh, it's corrupted. Doesn't work. Hey, it worked for me on my shit. It worked. I don't know what you guys are doing. All right. Third time's the charm. So I do less. I put it all on one MP3 and I send it off. Okay. All of these things I do out of the goodness of my little heart. Lenten season, Zimmel, doing what I need to do. I see them talking crazy on me on TikTok yesterday about how people I want to punch. It's a segment. It's a good segment. I like the segment. People I want to punch, the producer from iHeart, who made our lives so much more difficult. First off, I didn't have to do this in the first place. I could have been like, hey, sorry, my bad, dog. Can't help you.
Damn.
But I tried to help not once, not twice, but 3 times. Jacob, what did they say about 3 times? You'll deny me 3 times, Peter. And that's what those guys are. They're Peters, brother. And I'm not talking about the apostle. So they're talking crazy on me.
You're getting my blood boiling. The only person in the world that can give you a hard time is me.
So I text the TikTok to our guy, Mike. No response. Send the TikTok. Hey, he says back, yeah, they threw you under the bus. I'm like, you threw me under the bus.
Yeah,
you could have stepped up,
buddy.
You could have stepped up. So I'd say, hey, I'll remember that next time, like with a laughing emoji. He goes, yes. I'm like, I don't think you understand that there's now a legitimate.
There's a grievance here.
There's a little bit of a grievance here. Like, it's not a steak, but it's a little veal. It's soft beef. I got soft beef with these guys.
Nah,
so
I'm pissed forever.
That's what I'm saying. That's
Those
what I'm saying.
guys, man.
And my thing is, like, you little producer who I go and I find him on Twitter, and he's got like 1,800 followers. Shout out. I'm glad you got your followers. You're giving out bad gambling takes. Your takes are bad on gambling. And I have no beef with that. I have no problem with your bad gambling takes, except we are in a non-gambling state. So if you're doing it offshore, I'm calling the IRS, A. And B, if I trail your ass, I'm losing money. So let's focus on that. Let's get the picks right before we try to pick a fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Picks right before we pick a fight. That's all I'm saying.
The thing is, too, is like you don't have to go very far on the internet to find what's wrong with these guys in their personal lives. And I'm not even going to do a whole segment about that. But we could. But we're bigger people, and we're going to take the higher road.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like, have your life straightened out before you go and criticize somebody else, And
That's
also,
what I'm saying.
It's hashtag not that hard. What's your problem?
So I sat on that the whole
pissed me
episode.
off.
I wanted to put that in at the end. I wanted to get that last little thing in at the end there.
Yeah. I don't know. People want to punch. I could take their entire studio in a fight right now.
Hell yeah, brother. But Rudy J, we don't know each other. I love you because you're the only person on that show who was like, you did lose the thumb drive.
If you wouldn't have
They
lost the
don't.
first one.
They
Rudy J, you and me, brothers for life.
Wow.
Taylor, we're friends, bro. Like, I like you. Why would you do this? Why would you not?
No, Andrew, you're not friends because friends wouldn't do that.
That's true.
That's what you have
Shout
to
out.
remember. And that's
Shout
a
out.
huge lesson taught to me by one of the sports guys. Not everybody on your team is your friend. Your friends are your friends,
Mm-hmm.
Your friends are your
100%.
boys that you can always count on. Those are your friends. Everybody else is just a guy on the internet.
Thanks for swearing, everybody.